Okay, I got into this because it was the next thing the next thing I had to get traded into. Traded into here, traded into here, traded into here. After this push up, this is the range that brought the whole movement up. So I wasn't really expecting anything to hold here. And realistically, right, we can take it all the way up. So there's nothing saying we can't get all the way up here for 193. Really good candle there. So I had my stop loss here, obviously risking nothing less than 25. Would obviously have it break even now. So it's a free trade really. Do you want taking the profit, why not? Trying to get all the way up. The 15 minute. This was exactly where it needed to come to anyway. We didn't even try to the top of the range here. No reason why this should break us all the way down. We swept the bottom. I'm thinking it's going to go higher anyway. So if you look here, is anywhere we can try. If we're planning for the bigger move, no. Still come down, trade into this gap. Now we've closed here, we can come to the order block. So keeping all that in mind. If I was to try aggressively, I would get a re-entry as well. Anywhere it can flip, that's what you got to look for. Where can it flip? Or not really anywhere. Want to be breaking out this inversion fair value gap, so see what happens here. So if this flips up, I would trail here now for 33. So what I want to see here is it flip, create a new higher, so then I can trail here. But if that doesn't happen, I would remain at break even. If I'm planning for the bigger move. If I wasn't, I would have been trailed out probably at this big wick here for 34, and then would be planning for a re-entry if it comes down. Which does look like might be the case. We are... Never mind, we're holding this. Holding the lowest fair value gap, meaning no reason for it to come down, right? It's holding the lowest fair value gap, the only fair value gap. No reason for it to come to the order block. We've got to where I want it to get to now, so I'll be trial for 33. That's at 1.33. From where we was down here. Let's get rid of some of these levels. These are just levels from when I was trading earlier. Okay, so now we've got here. We're anticipating maybe if it's not an aggressive move up, we get a trade back down before we go higher, potentially creating another swing where we could trail to around there for 50. Here's the thing, right, like regardless what happens, get stopped out, we look at 34, we go for a continuation play, we get stopped out for -1, we don't lose anything. So at the end of the day, I would always go for the continuation play if I get trailed out. So we're looking for this high to go. If this high doesn't go, then it's quite blatant where it's going. It'll be going down. If not, it's exactly what you want to see. Because we traded all the way down here, I wouldn't mind trading it up to here. $41. Just trading slowly, not trading too aggressively. If I was trading aggressively, I would have been stopped out here. In my opinion, you have to make it make sense before you try, because this doesn't make sense. It fills in the gap. We haven't closed the high. Once it closes high, it's going to test back down. So basically, you're just saying, trading here, you're basically just asking to get stopped out. Big candles now. So close this range, trade it into it here. This is where you start trading aggressively. Close, tested this gap here, which is the lowest fair value gap of this range. Wants to create a new range again. We could try somewhere, try to whatever the low is. One minute. Not tested into anything. No real reason to try. Gonna get rid of this. So we're currently up 2.46R from what we risked. Just hop in time frames to see if we can just double check in, see where it could flip. So seeing what's going to happen at this order block. This shouldn't do too much. What we can do as well is we can see the midpoint of this 15-minute order block that we're anticipating gaining. Put the levels inside of it, make them really tiny. Okay, so what's happening? Held it there, which also tested into our fair value gap. If I wasn't in a trade there and I saw that, I would have taken that, anticipating it's going to go to here. If we're getting above here, we should get to here. If we're getting above here, then we should gain that order block, meaning we should get all the way up to here for 219. Gonna try up to here now. This locks in 4. We do have an ATT in 4 minutes or 3 minutes, so we kind of want to get to our target now. If the ATTs are around here, then I could anticipate that's as high as it's going to go. Just leave it there for now. Here's the thing, right? If we're holding here and we're not getting above here, we're going to go to here, meaning we're going to get stopped out. So what I would like to do here is, if we can trade to here again, I would trail here and be completely fine. If it comes back down, stops me out and goes higher, because I believe if this is holding, there's a chance we get back down to the PDR. So if we get to here now, close above that, I don't mind trading to here. I haven't closed above it. Looking to close above it in this candle. Okay, this looks fairly promising. I'm gonna trail it anyway, because we are quite high. So now looks in 5.25. So once we get above here, there's really no reason why we can't gain this. Even if we're anticipating price going lower after this point, there's nothing saying we can't sweep, go down. $28. So in an ideal world, this is now the swing go higher. Looking at this wick, it's holding price. Still no real reason why this should flip. We have a really small range here. This shouldn't really do anything. If it does, I'd be surprised. And even if it does, I wouldn't even classify it as that. I'd be classifying it as this, which has taken us to here, not this, taking us down. If we can get to here, I would try, because I'd be anticipating this is the swing. If not, I'm still here anyway. No real swing yet, because this next candle could also still be up. So we didn't close the high, did not close the high. So we kind of want to see this high go to continue that price movement up. If we take this out, I think I'm just going to trade it to here anyway. If we don't, then that's what I'm going to get trolled out for. This still looks fairly okay in my opinion, because there's no swing up. There's no swing up. Meaning without a swing up, there's no reason why we should go all the way down. Now we have a swing up if this goes down. Okay, so we've closed that now, so I'm going to try to this one. Could try for an extra $2, but that could also be the difference of staying in the trade and getting stopped out. So I'd rather risk on missing out $2 and staying in it over getting stopped out and getting the extra $2. So this is what I was talking about. Still create that swing up to go down, which just fairly does look like a swing to go down. It's quite an aggressive candle. Nothing saying it is yet. And just like that, look at that, right? If I tried in for an extra $2, I would have been gone. I would have been out of this and it would have went back up. And I didn't do that. Because this is the one I needed to trail to, not this one. If anything, right, I think I'm even being aggressive trading to here, because you've got to look at it and go, we didn't close this high until here, meaning we shouldn't have trailed to here until that got closed. Meaning this whole time, if we was playing for the bigger move, we should still be all the way down here until that closes, and then we could trail here. But I'm already here. Now we have closed that, we fouled that there. This situation where I would just move it for the extra $1, because we fouled that, meaning we're probably going to foul this, go lower anyway. And this trade here is 5.75 for how much we've risked, and we've been stopped up. I think that's a great trade, really good trade. Unfortunately we couldn't get all the way up to the target, which actually looking at this, I didn't realise this is the highest fair value gap. So yeah, of course, this is exactly why it can flip. That's my bad. I would have still been trailing the exact same anyway. I would have been stopped out of the same position. Didn't realise that was the highest fair value gap though. Also the 5 minute as well. like I said, I think we're going to flip Hormeek up to this range anyway, so this was, I was already anticipating this, but I was kind of looking at it as maybe if we're gaining this, getting above here, we can gain that order block, meaning instead of just moving down from here, we would sweep here and then go down, but instead we have just held the highest Fair Value Gap, which I didn't actually see, and now we're going down. We've closed at a low here. I mean, we can get a test up to here, get an entry, take this down to the order block here. If we think we're going higher, if we just flip through time frames here and see what's going on. Okay. Is that a low? That is a low, okay. Because we close at low, this can hold anyway, which is holding now. This whole move up here after this, it was always destined to come back to here, which it did here. Close this, come to here, go to the 1 minute. All the way down to the lowest point of the weekly gap. Does look like to me we are trying to cycle up to this higher, or this order block, which is what onset the whole move down and the sweeping of this range. Meaning if we think this is going to go higher, it shouldn't go any lower than this. Meaning we either take a trade here, try and take it higher, or before it gets down here, trades up to here, maybe we can get a trade down to that. Okay. Kind of 4 hour. So in this candle we actually traded to the fair value gap and closed the high for it, meaning this is where it should have went to after closing the high, which is exactly why we're getting that flip. Okay. This held, that was the next thing to hold, that was the next thing to hold. This is the next thing to hold. This is the next thing to hold. This moved it up to here. This moved up to here. This is temporarily flipping direction down to here. To break here, to then hold the next thing. Until we finally get to that 15-minute order block and the high. So we're sweeping down here, breaking below here. If we're breaking here anyway, we're already on set to go to the high of that whole entire range, which is there. Get rid of that right now. Okay. And actually, my bad. Closed here, traded into this here. This here, really small range. This is the next thing to hold, yes it is. Okay. Above the midpoint of that. We could have got an entry on that if we identified that a bit faster. what I'm going to do though is let this flip direction real quick. Because on the 15 seconds of mini range here, which if closed there, this should hold us down. If we think we're going to go up, it should only flip direction momentarily. So maybe create a immediate rebalance like we are now. I'll wait it out here. This wick is the fair value gap. Okay, this is where I'm interested now. Are we above the midpoint? If we are, then we can look at something here. Don't know if that closed. It didn't. Okay, I'm just gonna wait for it to close. Can actually do 3 contracts here. Might miss out on this, unfortunately. I'm gonna get this ready just in case we never test back down to here. I can enter for 2 contracts up here, which it does look like that's the case. So I'm just gonna try and get into this at the order block open. Ooh, I don't want this to swing up. Okay, I'm going to quickly get rid of this. Why? Because there is a ATT coming up. Shouldn't go any lower than the midpoint of this if we want to continue. Meaning, potentially, we've closed this here, right? 15 second, this is the next range to get tested into after closing the high. Okay, meaning maybe I swing, the next candle comes down, swings into here, we can get in off of that to close this high. Unfortunately, it never traded down to our entry. That was a very thought out trade. Maybe it was being a bit too greedy there. But hey, you can't win them all. Had to been a nice free contract trade as well. Leading up to target would have been 120. And we were anticipating that breaking and going to this range and higher. That temporal flipping direction, right? Here and here, small range, the only range that got closed on this whole way down. I wouldn't be entering a short with it now, because where we're going to short to here and it's going to flip back up, there's not really a point. And the guarantee of that actually flipping direction isn't 100%. Okay, so this has to be the swing. If it's not the swing, and that was a bud, meaning it wasn't a ATT. There wasn't really an ATT here either, unless you're saying it was here to get to here before going off a cliff. Did have the ATT that we ended off of down here, okay. Because the others were trending. And yes, they were. 54, 46, 41, 30 bring us down, okay. So I'm just going to classify this as a bud if there's no swing, which if we close higher than that, then Guess that's a bud. Okay, so we're anticipating direction flipping down momentarily. But still, I don't think I'll take a short of this unless it looks really good, really likely. And this is a type of trade where I wouldn't enter any higher than the 0.75. If I was, full well known it's only going to get down to here for 2R. It's too late anyway. Didn't really mind that after looking at the R. Just trying to take that down to there, right? Close the highest fair value up here. Okay, creating a mini range here, right? If we get above here before closing this higher, then I wouldn't mind taking a trade into this. If we go up to here and we close this higher, then I wouldn't get into it, because if we're closing this higher we should return to this order block. So a little mini range here. The R isn't really good enough for me to attempt this. Let's see. Actually it is. I think I'd rather just wait for the high to go, or we're just going to get stuck in that choppy price action, get in a trade before anything breaks out and get a unnecessary loss. Want this to go. Okay, so where is that order block? Cool, it's at the midpoint of this 15-minute wick. So taking a trade here up. That's my game plan. We know we have to close up higher, we know the high's there, so we don't need a level. That is the wick. Okay. Okay, we don't need to come to this wick. We do have a swing. 46, so if it goes up here, I'd take a trade off of this. If it doesn't, and next candle's a swing and we do test that, I'm going to take a trade regardless anyway. So we know that's testing, we don't need that. This isn't anything. I would like a defined swing, to be honest. This is still a defined swing. So we can do 3 contracts. Just a little bit over. With fees, it's just a little bit over 25. Especially because we just got a really good trade down. There would be nothing wrong with that. Okay. And close above the midpoint of this candle. And I would try this. Don't close it in this candle. So we did shallowly miss that as well. So maybe we still swing down before going higher. Just like so. so we can no longer do 3 contracts. Don't think we can either do 2 contracts. Hopefully this is the order block though. If we go live on this, and then we can start to assume that ATTs aren't in play, because that would be 2 in a row. No, it wouldn't save. This one did actually play out. So if that's the fact, then there's no reason why this can't be the new order block. 48 if it swings lower. Okay. It can be 2 minutes late. I'm not gonna say it can't. Did it close the midpoint of this order block? It didn't. Okay, I think we're gonna get rid of that idea now. Actually, not yet. Still a chance this works out, especially with this resistance. Could do 3. Let me see if that midpoint is going to hold. Couple more seconds. Okay. Don't think it's going to trade down, so I'm going to try and do a 2 here. Why not even trade down to that? Unfortunate. It's the thing, right? Patience sometimes is a killer. But if you wasn't patient in any of these candles here, you would have got stopped out of all of them. This thing, right? You will miss trades, and it's annoying, but I'd rather miss them than get in them early and lose every single time, almost. Because if we got into that one, just because it got there, we would have been out straight away. There's nothing saying it can't come back down either. Gonna see if it holds first, just because we have a little range here. I do expect it to hold, so don't really care too much about this really small range here. Considering we didn't close the low for the order block. I'd be looking at, okay, a new swing now. So if this candle swings down, you will see me in this. If this goes any lower, I can't do 3 anymore. No, has to be 2. Can't go any lower than that, or I can't get 2 contracts either. If this closes here, we're going to get rid of the fact of the longs, because now this was the last thing to hold, and this new one's failing. This one's already been tested into, this one's already been tested into. We're probably going to go all the way down. Wish I wasn't sitting there explaining that at that point. Okay, this is fine. Would like to be in a lot lower than this. Is what it is though. The bad thing about this, right, is this create a swing. We are anticipating the swings here though. But we gotta look where our entry is, cause we was a bit late entering that. We're at the high. Which I would have loved to be in at the midpoint there. Would have been in for 3 contracts. Also would have been break even with this move up. So there's a lot to say about this. Can't really break even for a long time here, and also because of the entry. If we get to here and we break even, well, we close there, it comes back down to the order block, tests it perfectly and gets us out. Looking to close this. If we don't close this, and then we're most likely going to get stopped out. So if this one can go higher, if this one can go higher than this one, then we're still on to get up to here. Not looking too promising until that point. Never mind. So I would have liked to be here. Wherever break even was. Yeah. So I would have liked to be here. We've been break even in this now. This is clearly a failing trade. But like I said, right, this is where I would have been if we wasn't explaining the whole thing. For the purpose of the video though, we're just getting into things. Just to show you, you know, that to be honest, there's still nothing wrong with getting in at the high. I just don't really ever. A lot harder to break even. Would actually trail it to here now. So we lose out on half an hour. Okay. It's starting to look a lot better now. So we're now losing just under half an hour. Just over half an hour. If this does stop us out. Looking for this to close. Ideally this closes. Once this closes, or just trades to it, I would break even. I actually think I'm going to break even here. Still haven't even closed this interior high, which is quite a big issue. For longs. Did close that on the 15 now, so this is exactly where it should trade to before going higher. I mean, if that's the case, once we get to here on the 15-second, I would go break even. If we don't get there, then it will just be a loss here for around half an hour. Which is looking like the case. So able to trail one tick higher, so it's now half an hour if we do lose. It's a thing I like, who cares anyway, especially after a big win. Would have been nice to get this though, because we could have stayed at this choppy range and then got a re-entry if we did close. In an ideal world, that is what would have happened. I am liking the fact there's a swing here. Never mind, that would have been nice. There's half an hour loss. It's completely fine, like I said. I would have much rather been in there, break even, whatnot. You get the idea. But like I said, if this fails, then I think the whole range is going. So already looking for shorts here. Did we ever get to the point that I wanted to get to break even? No. Okay, yes, fair enough. Possibly could have tried for an extra tick up, but at the end of the day, who cares? Okay, close this. This is bringing us up. Gonna get a trade here to go lower. Failing higher, failing higher. Closing the low, closing the low. Direction is quite set in stone unless we just rip up here. Gonna give him this last final attempt to go higher. Creating equal lows here. If we're creating equal lows, we might still be able to break these highs. But if that's the fact, we're breaking these highs to go lower. So let's just see what happens in these two candles. If we do somehow close these highs, then we could still get a re-entry long. If we sweep them, then I'll still be looking at shorts. Longs are still on for me now. Well, not yet, we've still got 14 seconds. If we're closing the exterior higher, in this range, this is exterior, this is exterior. If we're not, and we're sweeping out. If we're sweeping exterior, we're going to break exterior. It's all what happens in this next candle here. Does it create a swing? No, it's an equal high. Or equal to the other candle. I would love a swing now. If there's a swing, we can enter short to break here. If not, in my opinion, it's a bit too premature to enter. I'd have loved to swing here. Did fail these highs. If we're failing these highs and breaking these lows, then well, why would we move up? The thing is though, we could only do one contract, which I mean, I don't care. We are going to go for that. We try to close higher. Okay, so sweeping this. break below. So this candle here, if it can get us in. We didn't gain this, so this could temporarily just flip direction. Which, if that's the case, I'm going to quickly leave this here, see where this candle goes. React off what it does. There's no defined swing high on the 15 secondaries actually, so I'm fine with that. Okay, we just want to see what this candle does. What I'm going to do instead here is enter the midpoint. My stop loss here. 3 contracts. Just waiting for that to close. Did it close? It has closed now with that candle, so if it comes back down, I'd go for that. If it doesn't, then we'd be on set to close this. This is the swing, and the longs are in play. If not, we do come back below here. I will be taking that for only 2 contracts now. Let's get rid of that one. This does look good to go up though, so we're just seeing what happens. The midpoint of this order block, are we gaining that? Are we getting above it? Closed here, so we should trade back to here before going lower. This is no longer what I'd go for anyway. I'll just go back. This is the order block. Go back to the order block now. Stop loss in the same position if I was going to go for a short. Close that now, so direction is on set. We know where we're going now. Now we've got a bigger picture now. This failed to sweep even though we closed the lows. I mean, this has a lot more potential to go higher than it is to go lower. Close those lows now. Okay, trade back down to here. I'll take this candle, the midpoint of it. The swing, let's go higher. Let's get our longs ready just in case. Always have your trades ready. Don't wait for things to then put your order up. Okay. This is completely fine. Close these highs, so we should come back down to here anyway. It's the midpoint of that. What happens at the midpoint? So unless we fail these now, and my idea is wrong, and I think I'll kind of just sit out for a minute just to rethink what I think's going on. Equal lows. Failed this higher, but closed these, meaning if we're closing these, we should return back to the order block for that, which is exactly where we are. Stop losses are so small. So if this remains the order block, honest, I think I'd rather get it higher here. We can still do 4 anyway. Where's the 4 gone? We turn it into 5. Just seeing, is this holding? Okay. Let's just wait for some confirmation. Let's not get into a silly trade here. Can't wait for this high to go. If this high goes, yeah. Gonna set some stone in direction here. Something might be a bit too late. Surprise. Great, well that's a shame. I'd still be here waiting, so I'm not going to move out. It's a free mini trade if we can get out. What I'm going to do actually, next candle's a swing, so I'm going to see where that swing goes. It's definitely quite frustrating when stuff like that happens. Definitely chalk it up as your own fault though, right? Because I mean, midpoint of the order box holding, right? Maybe you've been a bit too cautious considering we've swept here, right? Don't need to close an internal high. I do understand that, but with that kind of being the final defense to go higher, I kind of wanted to see that happen beforehand. Okay, let's quickly get rid of this because I don't think we're going to get 3 minis out of a re-entry. Get rid of this, get rid of this. So like we said, right, this being able to close is the reason why we were still able to move up. If this didn't close, I don't think this would have happened. This closing doesn't mean, this failing to close doesn't mean anything to me. We closed the exterior ones, this interior one doesn't mean anything. We flip time frames, it looks very choppy on the 5, very choppy on the 15. The 1 minute you kind of have a better picture in my opinion. Okay, this is what I really would like. Close this. 12 swings down. We get into 12 and we go higher. Just gonna put it there, right? Because even if we fail this but close this, we're still gonna go up, in my opinion. This is still completely fine for me. I'm still very convinced we'll go high. Just seeing what this 12 candle does. Unless it falls off a cliff, I'd still be going for this. I'd actually just have it at the high. Can actually do 3 contracts still. 3 and 2 ready just in case this goes lower. Holding the gap here of the ungained range, so if this does hold, then we are on set to go up. If not, we break below here. The final defense kind of failed, meaning we didn't close this high, so this order block here isn't going to hold. Didn't close here, so the order block of the range here is not going to hold. That is it in my opinion. Okay, so now shorts are the only option for me. Failed, the only range left. close any of these. I want these to close before I go for a trade, because just getting in blindly now, I'd be kind of entering in a bait range. So this shouldn't hold. This already tried to hold. It failed. Choppy price action here. Failing high. No high here, so it's failing high. Failing the high, we should come down to this low, try and break out. We have another swing in 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. You can already see the choppy price action, right? So I wouldn't be surprised if this doesn't close. We come up to here, we come down to here, we come up to here, whatever. Which kind of does mean seeing one high or low close. Doesn't really mean anything unless it's an exterior one. Exterior one in this situation, well, it would be this or this. This hasn't closed, this hasn't closed. What we do want to see is this closed though. This can close. And then I would like to go for something. If this doesn't close there and this swings up, it looks like it's holding nicely, and then maybe I'd go for something, be aggressive with it. I've only lost half an hour after getting 5, so I wouldn't be too mad with taking a loss off of that. Looking for this to close in 18 seconds here. It's already closing the 15, so it should close. And if it doesn't close on the 1, well, it's closing the 15, so I think I'd be fine with that. Okay, I'm fine with that anyway. Really looks to me, but this is going to go. If this swings up here, creates a swing, and I would go for this. Preferably trade somewhere like here before we go. If not, then I guess, yeah, just go already. Why not? I've got these equal lows, but those sweeping don't mean anything to me because these highs are already gone. So we should go lower anyway. Just order block for this range, it hasn't closed, it's holding as well. And then our target is on set for here, right? So this is our defined range right now, is here to here. That's our defined range. It's been closed. I'm looking for that price moving up. This is 17. So far 16 looks like the swing to go higher, but because I think we're going lower, I'm gonna completely disregard the fact this could be a swing. Okay. This kept price action down, so even if we don't trade up to here, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't say no to taking a trade before we go higher here. Looks like we are going to go higher anyway, so that does not matter anymore. Okay, there's a high here, so unless we close this high, I wouldn't be skeptical about taking a short here. If we do close this high, I'd be skeptical of taking one. It's quite a small candle, so I would like to take the 75% of it instead of the 50. Still able to do 3. For closing the midpoint of that. We've already closed the midpoint of it. But technically we could already go for this, but I think it's too, in my opinion, it's too hard to try it out. Which proves my point perfectly. Because 19 can still be the swing anyway. So maybe this swings up, doesn't close this, goes lower. If not, we're going to accept that price action is too choppy and can't really take any trades, and it's just kind of train yourself not to take stupid trades when everything's just as choppy as it is now. So the moment this goes, we're not looking for this anymore. You really need to keep yourself out of trades like this. They will be the death of your trading if you're trying to trade every single close of every single high and low. When it's way too early, just seeing one thing close doesn't mean you can get in after it's been going choppy for such a long time. Technically, in my opinion, we didn't get chopped up here because this was before anything was choppy. So this isn't really losing to chop, whereas all of this would be. On a higher time frame. Gonna try and see if we can get one more thing here before I end this recording. Or not. This is the lowest fair value gap's there, so we didn't trade into the lowest fair value gap. So now if we have a defined range here and here, this doesn't go any higher than this, and then we close this, we close two sets of highs. Technically we swooped into the exterior range, and after swooping into the exterior range on the top, we did the bottom. So we can start to make sense of something. Okay, so we have a small interior range here, which you have to look at this. This is an interior, very small interior range. Because technically, in the bigger picture, right, this will be the low for wherever the high is up here. We do have an interior range. This closes. I wouldn't say no to longs. We close here out. We already traded down 2 up. In this candle. There's 2 fair value gaps here. If you get the whole thing, you do trade into it. Okay. I think if nothing comes out of this, I will end the recording here. Because it's starting to just do nothing. cycling time frames. So the 15 minute does actually look promising to go higher. That's the only time frame that actually looks good. Okay. We're wanting this to go. If this goes around, in theory it activates this. In theory though, to have a grain of salt. It's just a random ass level in the middle of nowhere. So actually don't really listen to what I said there, because that's just something I do. You don't have the capability to do that yet. Okay. Direction's looking a lot cleaner now after this point. Close this here for this order block. If we test back down, I'd like to take this. Stop losses are really small. Can't really do much about that. Okay. And now we have got to the target at the top. Within a second, which is quite frustrating. I still think we're going to go higher, so I'm not really even going to say anything about that. Would have been nice to get that though, if it did trade down before going higher. Technically we did trade to that after closing that. Right, we did close, technically held that. There's really no reason why it should go back down, but because we did hit our target, I'm anticipating maybe we come all the way back down. Okay, so our target on the top side's been hit. Quite a big stop loss, I was only able to do one. It's either that or not getting anything at all. Oh sorry, no, what am I talking about? Talking about I disregard that target completely. No reason why we should go down to there, to be honest. We never even gained this, so that shouldn't really do anything. So I'm actually missing out on a long here. Get a re-entry, hopefully. Could actually do 3. you'll take it to there. For 3.19. Trying to get it to here before we do anything. There we go, it's good enough for me. Break even. Like I said, this never got activated on the 15. Shouldn't do anything. This range got tested into after closing. This range did as well. This moved down. No reason why we need to go all the way down to here. Let's solidify that break even. There we go. So in theory we should go higher than that. Could actually play up to a bigger move here. Rather go to daily though. Daily to daily. Looking to get a trowel if we can to here. Looks in 1R as well, if it does allow us to do that. I'm gonna do that now. I think we had a stop loss there, right? So yeah, 1.13. Trying to get up to that daily. 126. Can anticipate some movement back down, so I'm not going to try any higher. It would be nice to try to here, but we could still come down to here if we're going higher. I'll try to hit when we get to here. Close that higher, or just trade to it. If not, then I'm just going to have to stay at 1 hour. Looks like I'll be staying here. Need this high to break. Still have 11 minutes though, which I'm sure I'd be out of this by then. Trade into this gap. Should be creating a range on the 15, which is actually kind of nice. So it means we could trial. If we do break the high, could travel to here for 60, which is almost 3 hour. big candle up, and we should be able to trail. I'm going to trail now. It's in 2.67. Let's see if it rips up now and goes to target, or it stops us out. And it's done. Cool. I think that was a good trade. Good attempt to go higher. Still think it will. But good trades overall. I think about 6 to 7 are there in 3 trades. Half an hour loss, 2 wins. Yeah.